Hi guys, it's Nicole and I am back today sharing another layout with the Creating with Collections Volume 3. Basically, this is the third time around that I am working through an entire paper collection to see how much of it I can use up, how far can I get it to go, and how many layouts can I get. Obviously, the beginning of this process is going easier than the other two. I talked about this in March's video. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the collection itself and the way that the papers are set up and the method that I have chosen to work through it is making it 10 times easier on me as far as not needing to really pick a lot of papers. The papers are kind of dictating what I'm going to use based on what is on the sheet for that month, I guess. Um, with April, I wasn't really paying attention when I made my photo collages. Normally, I would have only gone 5 photos wide and I would have done like 4 rows of 5 instead of 3 rows of 6 because it makes it much wider. And I kind of had some gap issues that I ended up covering up with some pattern paper later on. But I also had 2 extra photos and it wasn't going to fit in the photo collage. And at this point, I forgot to check my screenshot folder on my phone to see if I had done a screenshot of anything like news announcements, different like memes that were going around, that kind of thing. I did remember that for May, so I was able to fill in some gaps in my photo collage for May's layout. For April, I forgot, and I'm not really worried about it. I'm not going to try to go back and fit that in. I took screenshots throughout the year of different like announcements, different sort of news things with the intention of including them in month in review whenever I got around to it. However, it took me to the 5th layout to remember that. So at least now I know for the following ones. And then the extra 2 photos that I had, the reason that they weren't going to fit in the photo collage was also because they were portrait oriented to the point that I could not crop them into a square. Like I would have lost too much stuff. So I chose to just print them out in the same size that I do the horizontal version, but kind of have them be by themselves. And then I'm just making sure that the photo that sort of goes with those ones is on the edge of my photo collage. So there is a little bit of sort of planning as far as where the photos go for my personal preference. I don't necessarily pay attention to, putting them in date order or anything like that. Mostly because that takes a lot of effort. I'm kind of lazy, but I also kind of just don't care. Like when I open this up in my album, I know that this is just a depiction of that month. I'm not going to get like nitty gritty and go, oh, okay, well, everything on the left page is like from the 1st through the 15th, and everything on the right is from the second half of the month. I don't care enough to do that. My brain doesn't care enough to do that. And when I look at the photos, I just kind of want to know that they are from this month and this year. And I've mentioned before, I also don't include on the photo collages like bigger events that are going to get their own layout. And then April did go a little quicker than March just because March was kind of the one where I was sort of figuring out how to stretch the design that I had come up with into a 2-page layout. So April was more of just kind of implementing the same things that I had done for the previous layout, while also navigating around the fact that my photo collages are a little bit wider. I have some extra photos. So like for April, because I have the 2 extra photos that are kind of going into the margins, that takes away from the area on March's layout where I had used one of the cut apart cards from the quarantine line to type my journaling on. So I do the same thing that I always do. I attach everything to the layout that I know I want. I know where I want it to be. It's sort of anything that I have answered yes to. Anything that I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what paper I want here. I don't have a solution to this problem. I don't keep trying to figure it out. I move on to something that I do know the answers to and things that I can do while in the back of my mind kind of trying to figure out, what am I going to do now? And those are the kinds of things that I'm glad for in this series. And when I say those things, I mean doing the same things on each layout. So like the cut apart card that has the name of the month, I know I'm going to take a border punch to that. The cut apart with the calendar, I know I'm going to run that through with my notebook die. I know that I'm going to take the cut apart card that is sandwiched between those on the paper, and I'm going to put that as like a filler across the top. I know I'm going to grab the other 6x4 and use that as a filler. And then I'm not cutting apart any of the other papers until I'm done with the month in review. So I keep anything that I've already cut into. So like all the paper left over on the sheet that had January on it, February, March. I go back to that pile of scraps to get my layering pieces from. I also go to the 6x8 pad that I bought intentionally to use for layering pieces. And then even like the little tiny striped border that I was gluing down to the edge of that floral pattern paper, that is left over from March's paper. And it was the pieces that I did the border die, like the scallop border. It was just this little sliver that was left over. And I was like, nope, I'm not throwing this away because this can easily be tucked in, or it can kind of look like paper that's not actually there. And those are the things that I don't have to make a decision on like I normally would do with like the first and second round of doing this series. I am also thoroughly enjoying like changing up some of the phrase cards. I did it on April and I also did it on May. So like that blue cut apart card says, find the beauty in every day. That is not something that I would ever say. It's not me. I'm over here like, just hang on until bedtime. That's the kind of card that I need. So I'm using a lot of the phrase stickers to kind of cover up, but not completely cover up. Like I want it to look, you can tell that it says find the beauty in every day, but I stuck a sticker on there that says find the new normal in every day. I like snark humor, and I'm finding a way to include that in these layouts. And that is like another reason that I'm probably enjoying this more than the other two. And even on like March's layout, I don't think anybody noticed it because I didn't get any comments, but I'm either doing like a stamped phrase on the card with the month or like a sticker phrase. And when I was going through my stamps, the second stamp set that I came to is this like kid themed one from Carrie Bradford. And this like just random phrase like slapped me in the face because it was like bold. But I was like, oh no, it's a kid's stamp. Like thinking I'll just set this one to the side. But the one phrase jumped out at me and it said, welcome to the jungle. So that's the phrase that's on my March card. The phrase on my April card just says, is it Friday yet? So small things like that are just like me. I'm thankful to be able to include them. And then even like, and then I feel like for whatever reason, like the lower right hand area where I usually have been trying to put a cluster has been just kind of this mesh of things that I throw over there. They're not like my favorite part of the layouts by any means, but you know, it is what it is. I feel like I got to put something over there. So me being me, I combine a toilet paper sticker with a rainbow sticker because that makes sense in my brain. But I didn't like the phrase on the sticker. And I don't know if I can pull it off to read what it says. Oh, it says, let's not panic. Well, I didn't really like that. So I just took the quarantined sticker and put that, and it completely covers it. So I've been doing that pretty much on all of these layouts where if I don't like the phrase that's on there, I'm going to find another phrase to cover it up with. And typically I'm probably going to pick something that reads a little snarky. And then this is my solution for not having that cut apart to be able to print my journaling on. I just typed it up in about like a 5-inch wide section. I did 2 separate paragraphs so that I could put one kind of justified to the left, one justified to the right. And then just like all the other ones, I am doing these little DIY like chipboard hearts that I have been making. The only thing I think I forgot to do on this one is I had been trying to remember to do like one or two of the adhesive brads on each of these, and I kind of forgot. So I might go back and add one or two depending on how I feel, but not right now. I think I ended up editing clips and photos for like 5 videos today, and I'm just now getting to like the voiceover part, so my brain's a little like, you're done. So this is the completed layout. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I hope you guys are enjoying this and kind of maybe taking another look at this collection in particular, because a couple of my friends told me that they absolutely hated it and they didn't understand how, like, they didn't think any of it matched. But to me, it's perfect and I love it. So, as always, thanks for spending some time with me, and I will catch you guys later.